Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I heard this was temporary from some people, so I hope this is true about this whole Teresa thing. But I'm gonna be honest, it's like every time I see her, I'm like, this is not working. Every scene, every line, every bit of dialogue does not work with her. It really doesn't. I find this whole switch, when I heard about it, I was like, man, I hope this is a rumor. And then I actually saw it and I was like, what in the hell am I actually watching? I've seen some stupid stuff in soap operas, particularly Days. And this has got to be the stupidest thing I've ever seen in a soap opera. The sad thing is, even if they sat there and they say, you know, we're gonna dye your hair for a little bit and we can get a new actress, it would still be stupid. That's pretty much all I gotta sit there and say about that. Also, Brady's not to talk about, oh, Teresa's great mom, this, that, and the third, but like, there's nothing trying to teach Tate responsibility and working as a busboy and everything like that. And Teresa's like, oh, you really think that's such a good idea? I mean, he's so young and it'll take us so long. And I'm like, boo, do you not really sit there and see that he's trying to instill responsibility into him? And you're just like, oh, well, can't you just go easy on him? Like, no, because we're in this position because you've been going easy on him. Um, I'm like, no, boy, that's not gonna work. Now, while Kate isn't there talking about how Victoria's not her granddaughter anymore, Chad isn't there talking about how pretty much Kayla and Steve was putting some pressure on her and him on as far as getting married. And when Stephanie got back home, they were talking about it for a little bit. She was just like, listen, I know my parents was kind of like really getting on us and yada yada yada. And when they hug, Chad is like, listen, I'm good where we are. I don't see a need to sit there and change anything. And she's like, yeah, and she hugs him and stuff like that. But you can see the look on her face, like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. She was basically hurt. And you look at a situation like that, and this is the problem when there's no communication. People, expectations that you want to have for somebody, or you should lay this stuff out beforehand. Um, that at some point she wanted to sit there and get married, but she didn't do that, and he didn't do that. So now they're just sitting there floundering around until one day she starts to get resentful and be like, "What are we doing?" So what happens when people don't sit there and talk, not just about boundaries, but what your expectations is in this relationship? I'm not gonna lie, Bonnie was kind of annoying me a little bit in the beginning because she was all like, "Oh, I'm so glad we don't have to sit there and stay in the Salem Inn." I'm like, "Boo, you act like you was outside camping in the woods or something." I'm like, "Are you that bougie where it's just like, oh, I'm not, sleeping with my silk sheets or anything like that?" I don't know. It's just kind of annoying. She was talking about Justin and the whole thing, and Tate found out, Brady found out. And it tastes like, so does that mean that he's not like my uncle or anything like that? And Bonnie's like, well, the thing is, somebody needs to sit there and draw a diagram because it's so damn convoluted. I don't know what they were thinking when they decided to do that, but it's too damn tangled. It is too tangled. Stephanie finds out that Alex is the new head honcho. He's running the show. He's CEO of Titan. Now, the thing that Maggie that kind of annoyed me was that Maggie wasn't there telling Justin about how, she kind of pretty much got demoted or whatever. But the way she was telling in the beginning is like she got booted out the company. She was like, well, if Victor wanted him to sit there and be CEO, then he would have sat there and, okay, but that's not what happened. So, like, long story short, he has the power. Legally, he has the power. And she's like, well, I mean, he decided to keep me on board, but like as like a supporting role or whatever. I'm just like, okay, well, you chose to walk away from your job then. Don't try to make it seem like he threw you out on the streets. He threw you out the company. He fired you. He didn't sit there and fire you. You were just like, I'm running the show. You're a supporting role, and that's how it is. But the way she tried to make it seem is like Justin was like, oh, I can't believe you did that. Did what exactly? The only thing he actually wound up doing was taking his birthright. So what are you talking about? And it's this whole long speech about how Justin is really his father. Don't sit there and think just because, you're not blood and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, you need to sit there and tell that story to Alex at this point. Because even Justin at one point was trying to get through to him, like, yo, listen, we're still good. Like, I'm still always going to be your father. But, Alex and his, I'm going to be honest, the whole emo thing is just not really working for me with him. Um, I feel like he has taken this way too far personally. I understand you being shocked for a little bit. It's like, bro, nothing really changed. And nothing really changed, but you are just, I don't know, blowing this out of proportion to be honest. I'm going to be completely honest. I find it to be kind of dumb after a while. It's just like, bro, listen, it is what it is. It didn't change anything. It doesn't erase your history. So you need to sit there and find a way to either get over it or go to some therapy and find a way to get over it. Because this moodiness that you're doing, it ain't working. It's not working for me. I don't know who's working for, but it's not working for me. Oh yeah, Marlena was actually in the episode for some odd reason that made no sense. I didn't really understand that. And of course, again, any scene with this new Teresa is just not working. Like she has a scene with Alex, and she's trying to cozy up to him and everything, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. Listen, I love Days. I think it's a great show. At the very least, it's very consistent, but they dropped the ball heavily with this one. They really did. I don't know what to think of Tate, to be honest. He just seems kind of like whiny. Oh, I gotta sit there and work. Oh, I can't sit there and get stuff for free. Oh, you're rich. Why can't you sit there and pay for it? Like, really? Really? This is like already day one. I'm just like, you're just whining way too much. Like, seriously? I know they're gonna sit there and have a scene when they show Holly being a teenager. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really invested in Tate so far. Maybe just the whininess just didn't work for me. Hell, I guess. I mean, granted, he's not totally bad, but he's not off to a good start. I'll say that much. And it's like I wrote Marlena's Lane down, and I was just like, how is she even doing this episode? Why was she even there for? Anyway, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't think of anything else that wound up happening. Now, of course, if I miss anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, YNR, Days, GH, and Bold and the Beautiful. With that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.